Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Finn's Talk Sports Network Extra, Aging in Strong. I'm Steve Molloy, and I want to thank all of you for joining today. Make sure you hit that like button as you come into the chat. If you're new to this channel, especially this content with Aging and Strong. I've started back up again. I was off for a little while, but make sure you hit that subscribe bell down there. That way you'll get the notifications, and whenever I pop up, uh, you will know with those alerted by those notifications. So yes, I am back. It's been a while, but I've been itching to come back on. Have another podcast, Finns Talk Sports, on the Finns Talk Sports Network called Real Talk Finns Talk. Talk about the Miami Dolphins, the football team. I am a fan of theirs, and I do evaluations, analysis, and just real talk about the team. So if you are wherever you're at, if you are a Miami Dolphins football fan, come over here to not here, but go to the Finns Talk Sports Network, which is affiliated channel, and look for Real Talk Finns Talk if you want to hear some good football talk, real talk that is, on Real Talk Finns Talk. But today we are on Aging and Strong. If you've followed me and you've watched this show before, you know what I'm all about. I'm all about the 50 plus community. But this is good information for anyone that wants to get some good knowledge and content on nutrition, on exercise, um, and basically just getting strong and staying healthy. But my focus is for the older community. I think it's needed. The aging population. Um, so everybody should know by now that RFK, Robert Kennedy, has partnered with President Trump in, I guess it's pronounced Maha, which stands for, I just had it in my mind what it stood for. Oh, Making America Healthy Again. Making America Healthy Again. And they've also come up, and him and other health nutritionists and things of that nature, health people in the health field, they've come up with a new um, food guide pyramid. They've implemented that, something that needed to be updated for a very long time. And the reason why they've created to make America healthy again is because, if you've been following this show, I've talked about the aging population. I've talked about um, uh, that our country, 70% of our country, including men and women, are obese. Are obese. Okay, obese or overweight. Okay, but a good percentage of those folks, men and women, are obese, and we've got a health crisis in this country, and a lot of it has been related to the food that we've been eating. And not only the way that the food guide pyramid was created, but also all the chemicals and additives and preservatives that have been incorporated into our foods here in the United States of America. And they are, I know that RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is working on that. He's working on that. He's had a lot of different things that have been banned now, dyes and things of that nature that have been, incorporated in our food for years and years. They need to do more. There's a lot more work to be done, in my opinion. But this food guide pyramid that they implemented now for the United States, all right, of America, is a good start. It's a very good start because a lot of the diseases, a lot uh-oh, what happened? Sorry about that. I Something happened. I had a little glitch. But as you know, a lot of the diseases and things of that nature are health problems that we're having, the obesity problems, the metabolic issues, insulin resistance. Folks are having a lot of insulin resistant um, issues. Again, metabolic issues, unhealthy, is related to our food. Not only is it related to the food that we've been eating and what we've been eating, but also the lack of exercise, the sanitary conditions that a lot of folks, especially the older folks, the community, have been saying, oh, be careful, don't lift weights, you can get hurt. Don't do this exercise, you're going to get hurt. Or, just all you need to do is just, walk around the mall a little bit and do some stretching exercises and you're good, and what has it done for this country? Nothing, not a damn thing. Pardon my language, but we've gotten unhealthy. We haven't gotten healthier, we've gotten unhealthy. And again, this food guide pyramid is a good start. It's a good start for us. And so I'm going to go over the food guide pyramid a little bit and talk about that and how we should be reading this food guide pyramid. If you go to the government website and you look for that food guide pyramid, make sure that number one, it's an upside down pyramid. It used to be that pyramid. Right now, it's upside down, but or inverted. So if you want to read this, the proper way to read this, right, is you want to start from top left to right. You want to start from the top left to right and work your way down. And that's the best way you can read it because those should be the priorities of the foods that you should be incorporating into your body. Those are the priority foods that you should be eating. Um, so let's go over that. All right. So if we start from the top, going from left to right, we see up there on the top left, you're going to see protein, dairy, and healthy fats. And this is something that a lot of doctors, scientists, people have been demonizing protein. They've been demonizing fats. They've been demonizing eggs and milk and all that kind of stuff. Now that's incorporated into the food guide pyramid. Okay. Your brain is made of protein, fats, and cholesterol. And that's another thing we're going to be talking about here in the up and coming weeks. I'm going to have a doctor on here, a very famous, renowned heart doctor, which I will not name now, but he will come on and he will talk about uh, healthy fats, cholesterol, all that stuff. Okay. And basically, those are the priorities. That is what you should be most of on your plate. That's what should be most of on your plate are those proteins, the dairy, and the healthy fats. Now, a lot of your proteins, right? That's a big thing now because the corporations that put out these ultra processed foods, which are not good for you at all. You shouldn't even be eating any of those ultra processed foods. Go research ultra processed foods. If you go to any grocery store, those are your foods that are going to be right there in the front aisles. They're going to have the most of those, right? They're going to market those the most because those are what keep us mostly sicker. And you are supporting these big corporations that are making you sick and keeping you sick. So you have to go to the doctor, get all these medications from the big pharma and all this kind of stuff. All right. That's all that is. Follow the money. All right. When you do on all your research on all this on nutrition and things like that, follow the money. Look see who's behind these people promoting these products like ultra processed foods and things of that nature. Okay. Cereal, breads, um, anything like that. Uh, 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 Macaroni and cheese in a box and things of that nature. Um, not good for you, folks. It's not good for you, and it's not even in the food guide pyramid anymore. Cereal's not mentioned. Any of that. Sugar, another killer, is not mentioned in there. Shouldn't be eating any kind of sugars, and make sure whatever you go to the grocery store, you look at those labels, whatever you're buying, you make sure it doesn't have sugar in it. Okay? That's why we need to eat real foods, real whole foods. That is your best bang for your buck. It's going to get you healthier, make you feel better, all that. Meat. You can get meat in the grocery store. Don't let these folks say, "Oh, you got to have organic, you got to have grass fed and all that." No, bull crap. You can go to the grocery store, you can get your meats, your poultry, your fish, um, eggs, all that stuff. Great sources of protein and fats. Avocado, if you want to go to the fruit side, avocado, and we'll get to that side. But avocados and things like that, olive oil, avocado oil, butter. Butter's even in the food guide pyramid. Okay, everybody was demonizing butter. Oh, it's not good for you. It gives you, you're going to get high cholesterol and all this kind of stuff. And they in margin, they've discovered now it causes all kinds of cancers and all kinds of stuff. Just not good for you, man. It's fake. It's all fake. It's not real. Your body does not get the nutrients that it needs from fake food, right? From imitation food, from preservatives and additives. That's not nutrition. That's not your nutrition. And then we wonder why our bodies are rejecting all these things and getting these diseases and things of that nature. Okay. So let's move on. And I wanted to get to the point about the proteins. Okay. Yes. Yeah, so you see all these different advertisements about protein because now these folks are catching on. Oh, I'm going to make a buck. All I got to do is label this product, X amount of protein, and they're going to buy it because, oh, they see protein, and that's the catchword, the protein. Not all protein is the same. All these protein bars, candy. That's all it is. Candy. Okay? Look what's in that stuff. That's junk. That's crap. Okay? You don't need that stuff. We don't need that stuff. We need real food. Again, I emphasize real food, whole food. Okay? But then they got breads on now that are coming out. You said they listing all this protein, healthy protein. No, it's not the same as meat, as ground beef, as steaks, as chicken, as fish, as eggs. It's not the same. All your meats, all your poultry, all your fish, eggs, that has all the bioavailable nutrients that you need. That's all. It has everything in there, everything you need. That's why it's good to eat a variety, not just the red meat, but chicken, fish, eggs. Eggs are very, very healthy for you, very dense. Not only that, it's dense in protein and your in vitamins and minerals and all your healthy fats. Okay. Your body's made up of cholesterol and fats and proteins. Okay. Your body has fats, proteins, and cholesterol. Your brain lives and thrives on protein, fats, cholesterol, all that stuff. It's a lubricant for your ligaments and your muscles and things of that nature. All the healthy fats, avocados, butter, eggs. Okay. The meat, ribeyes with all the fat in it and all that stuff. That's healthy stuff for you. Okay. There's been a war on fat. There's been a war on milk. Milk is another thing that's healthy for you. Now, there's some milks that are better for you than the milk that you get in the grocery store, right? And they're coming out with that now. Okay. You got the raw milk that you can get from a farm or whatever. It's your local farmers, stuff like that. They have it. And then there's also, and now I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. Okay. This is just from all the research that I've done. The same research, excuse me, the same research that you all can do. Again, you're doing your research. Make sure you see who's behind the curtain there, who's putting out the money and advertising all this stuff. Okay. Follow the money. A lot of them have agendas. Okay. So make sure you're getting the science right. Folks that are legit, studies that are not just, one or two people. I mean, studies with many thousands of people that have gone through these studies, right? Um, but yeah, so all protein is not the same. Animal protein is the best. Beans, yes, there's protein. Is it the best? No. And it doesn't even have all the essential vitamins, right, that you need. The 9 essential vitamins that you need. It doesn't have all that. Meat does. Chicken does. Eggs does. Beans doesn't. Nothing else has those 9 essential vitamins and minerals that you need other than meat. Okay? There might be a few things here and there like, was it quino, whatever, I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, I don't eat it, so I don't know about it. I don't know how to pronounce it. But uh, anyway, make sure you're eating good, healthy fats too, as well, which you can get again from your meats, your eggs, avocados, olive oil, olives, things of that nature. Now going from your left to your right, when we're going to go over vegetables, the category of vegetables and fruits. Vegetables and fruits. If you like vegetables and fruits, if you feel that you have to eat vegetables and fruits, nothing wrong with that. Okay. There's some fruits that are they're higher in sugar and things of that nature. Look, I don't care sugar is sugar. Honey, fruits, it's still sugar. It's natural, but it's sugar. So you got to be easy on those fruits. Okay, you really do. Um, but and we'll get to the serving sizes and things like that. But yeah, fruits and vegetables. You have your fruits, have your vegetables, have your bananas, your grapes, the best fruits probably are to get the best bang for your buck of blueberries, strawberries, um, apples, bananas, oranges, things of that in that category are good for you, no doubt. Um, Personally, I don't eat a lot of vegetable. I eat vegetables, but I don't eat a lot of vegetables, and I don't eat a lot of fruit. Okay, I have fruit every now and then, have vegetables every now and then. What I most my diet mainly consists of is the proteins, the animal proteins, the meat, the chicken, the eggs. I don't eat seafood, so I don't have fish or shrimp, shellfish, shrimp, crabs, lobster. Not for me. For you, it might be good stuff for you. But anyway, yeah, fruits and vegetables. If it's not going to hurt you, fruits and vegetables are not going to hurt you. But like anything else, eat it in moderation. Okay, don't overdo it. Um, and then you're working your way down from left to right, and you're going down. Uh, it has whole grains there. Basically, it just has um like oatmeal and bread, but um when we talking about breads, you want the best bread is probably just homemade sourdough bread. If your wife or your husband can make some good old, sourdough bread, that is the best. You know what ingredients is in it. Not much, right? Natural ingredients. But easy off on some of the on some of that bread though, okay? Bread, there's a lot of diseases. I know I have a brother-in-law. He has celiac disease. Look it up, and that's he can't eat any kind of wheat products at all. Anything that has wheat or anything like bread and stuff like that. So ease up on the bread, and all your grains, right? All your grains and wheat and bread and stuff like that. Um, a lot of people cannot tolerate a lot of that. Okay, it causes metabolic disease or metabolic um, it causes metabolic being unhealthy. Your metabolic. I can't remember if it's called disease, but anyway, um, try not to eat a lot of breads and oatmeal. Make sure you don't get the instant oatmeal. Again, that's ultra processed. Make sure you get the oatmeal. It comes, it comes in the little it's like a little it's not a can, but it's a cardboard like shaped like a cylinder, that kind of oatmeal and that kind of stuff. Don't go overboard on that, okay? And if you're adding honey and stuff in it, be careful on that. What I don't eat a lot of oatmeal, but if I do eat oatmeal, I usually put like blueberries in it or bananas, things of that nature. And I have used a little bit of honey in the past. I don't go overboard on that stuff though. Okay. Um, so let's go over. This was very interesting too. Let's see if I can find it. So your protein, dairy, and your healthy fats. Okay. As far as your protein target, now this is something that I've talked about a lot on this channel. And I know a lot of folks are like, what? Are you kidding me? No way I can eat that much protein. Now I'm talking about good, healthy, you know, fatty meat, chicken, eggs, that kind of thing. Now, eggs is a different story. That you'd have to eat a lot of eggs to to for the servings they require for the protein. But for your meats and things like that, um, and you can include eggs in that target. Okay, what you want the protein target though is 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. I've been talking about that, or known that for a few years now. I've known that for a few years now. When I started getting into researching health and nutrition and things like that. Okay, because I'm all new to this myself. Okay, I didn't know this stuff. What I'm talking to you about 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't know this stuff. 2 years ago, yes, I knew it because I researched it and I studied it. But when I used to tell people you need at least 1.2 to 1 point, not 1. I used to say 1 gram per pound of body weight. That's what I said. Okay, which is if you're 180 pounds, it's 180 grams of protein per day. 180 grams of protein per day, and that's very critical for an older adult, especially. Why? Because we don't absorb and synthesize the protein as efficiently as a younger person. So we require a little more. I've been saying this on this channel since I started it. You've heard me talk about it if you've listened to this channel before. Okay? So 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. So that's going to be a little less than 1 gram per pound of body weight. Okay. It's going to be, go ahead and you can probably, get your calculators out and figure that out. Okay. But that's what you're going to need. The higher the number, the better. Also, I wanted to make mention on the milk. I know some people are lactose intolerant. There's milk out there on the market now that is lactose free. But also I was getting to the point also about the milk when I was talking about the milk that you get in the store, the homogenized, the regular milk you get in your gallons or quarts or whatever, however you buy your milk. There's milk out there now. Look for the milk that's coming out on the market. It has A2 in it. A2. Just remember that. A2. Research it, look it up. A2 and milk. A what milk is normally that you're getting at the store, your regular homogenized milk is A1, A1, A2. A1, A2 is still good. Okay. It's still good, good vitamins and minerals and protein and all that stuff. But A2 is closer to breast milk, to human breast milk. A2. It's closer to human breast milk. Just keep that in mind. If you're lactose intolerant, maybe that'd be a little better for you than the regular homogenized milk. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a doctor, not a nutritionist, but try it, see what happens, right? I mean, if the least you can do is get the lactose intolerant milk. They have it out there. It's out there. But yeah, that's what I wanted to go with you over the food guide pyramid. It's a great start to get, to make America healthy again. It is okay. But in a lot of this stuff is just common sense. All you have to do is look at the label on the food you're buying in the store, and cereals and things of that nature, candy. We all know this stuff is not good for us, but we eat it anyway, right? Because it's good, it's sweet, it tastes good. I got it. I was the same way, you know. And I'm not gonna say I don't need to have a piece of candy every now and then. Yeah, of course I do. I'm not perfect, okay, but I try to follow this. I try to follow everything that I preach here on about. I try to follow myself, but I'm not perfect. Okay. Sometimes I have some potato chips or something like that. Don't make it a habit. Okay. Again, you want to have a bowl of chips. I get it. They're good, especially you're watching a good football game, baseball, whatever. Right. But I have a little small bowl. I don't have a big old bowl of potato chips. Crackers, same thing. Crackers is not good for you either. A few crackers here and there is not going to, cookie is not going to kill you, but just, you got to be conscious about what we're eating. Okay. All that stuff, we're putting poison in our body. Okay. And if we want to live, I'm not saying you're going to live longer because you're eating healthier and you're doing all the right things. I'm just saying you're going to have a better quality of life. You're not going to be as sick. You're not going to have to go to the doctor. You're not going to be in the hospital. You're not going to have to take a bunch of medications, things of that nature. But again, just to refresh, this channel is about aging and strong, aging gracefully and getting stronger. And what I've talked about in the past, we're going to shift gears now from the food guide pyramid into getting stronger. Okay. Eating healthy, eating right plays into getting stronger as well. Okay. Because if you're working out, you're lifting heavy, because that's what we need to be doing, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be lifting heavy. We need to be putting stress on our body so our bones, our muscles, and our ligaments are getting stronger. That's what we have to do. And there's a safe way to do that. Okay. Lifting light is not going to get you anywhere. All you're doing is you're wasting your time by lifting light. Okay. And we as human beings, we always try to find the path of least resistance. Right? Anything hard, we try to avoid. Most of us. Okay. So we've got to push ourselves. Right? Lifting heavy, especially for older adults. But you don't start off heavy. You start off light. Okay. You start off wherever you're at. Okay. If it's 2-pound dumbbell, that's great. You start off at a 2-pound dumbbell, but you've got to progressively overload over time. Okay. That 2 pounds has to go to 4 pounds, from 4 pounds to 6 to 8 to 10. Wherever you're at, that's where you got to start at. Okay. And then you gradually progress to heavier weights. As it gets heavier, it doesn't get easier. And that's when you have to start grinding. And that's good for us old folks. We need to grind. We need to we need to push ourselves. You know, if you're able. Now, there's some folks that have had injuries and things, especially our age. I'm 66. Especially our age, we've had injuries over the years and stuff. Sometimes we got to work around those. Okay, we got to modify our exercises. Okay, but don't modify it so much that you're not making progress. Okay, there's ways of going around your injuries, modifying your exercises, and still get stronger. Okay, we've got to do that. Okay, look, I wake up in the mornings. Some days I feel great. I have no issues. Then some days I'll wake up and, oh, wow, why does this shoulder hurt here? Or why is my knees hurt? Or why is my back hurt? Right? But guess what? I continue on. I still do my walk. I usually walk. Now, I don't do a lot of running. I do sprint every once in a while, but I'll do my walk around, the neighborhood or whatnot, maybe a mile and a half or so, 20, 25, 30-minute walk. Try to do it every day. It doesn't happen every day, but I try to walk every day as much as I can. You know, Try to get at least, 8 to 10,000 steps in a day, okay? Or every other day, whatever works for you, right? Sometimes I'll do, some jump rope. I won't walk. I'll jump rope for, 10 minutes or whatnot. Believe me, that's a workout. Or sometimes I'll do, 8 sprints, you know, f- 8 40-yard sprints. Okay. I don't go hard. I'll go like at 60, 70, 80%, right? Because at our age, I'm not saying that if you can go hard. But usually at our age, you can pull something pretty easy. Okay. If you're not careful. Okay. Got it. Now, you got to use your common sense too. All right. But whatever you enjoy, tennis, basketball, shoot some hoops. I shoot some hoops with my grandkids all the time. I throw the football around with them, run around and play touch a little bit with them and stuff like that. The key is staying active. You don't want to rust. If you're not active, you're going to rust. You're going to rust. You're going to get stiff, and you're not going to be able to move. So you got to stay active as we age. Not less active, more active, actually, or as active as we can. Okay. Um, but yeah, this is all I wanted to do today. This is all I wanted to talk about today. We're gonna have some more stuff coming up, more stuff on getting strong as far as resistance training. I'm gonna have I had Andy Baker on here a few months back. He's an expert in getting strong for all ages, but he's mostly lately he's been working with the aging population, 50 plus. He owns a gym here in Texas. He's had one for like 20 years. He's been a bodybuilder in the past. He's a coach, strength training coach. So he's got a lot of experience, and you can go back and watch some of those videos of him. I had him on twice. You'll learn some good stuff on there. He's a really interesting guy to talk to, and you learn a lot from him. I enjoyed talking with him. Uh, I'd like to probably get Austin Trout on here again. If you don't know who he was a former World Boxing Association middleweight champion, boxing champion. Right now, he's the president. I think in 3 weight classes, he's the bare knuckle champion in middleweight division. It's either welterweight or middleweight division. I forgot, but I'll probably have him back on here again. And he works with folks, older folks as well, and folks that have Parkinson's disease and things like that. Um, and it should be a great conversation with him as well. And then again, I'm going to have the doctor on here. the renowned doctor, talking about the cholesterol and basically, um, you know, a little bit of diet and nutrition and things of that nature as well. So should be great. Should be great. Um, if you know anybody that's interested in this kind of stuff, uh, send them over this way. Again, I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a person just like most of you all. If you're not doctors or nutritionists, stuff. This is research that I've done, um, and um, and I just wanted to share it with you. I think it's some great information. I know it's needed in this country, especially with the obesity problem and the metabolic illnesses and sicknesses and insulin resistance. A lot of folks walking around here with all that kind of stuff. From what I understand, I forgot who it was I was listening to. Some doctor was saying 88%, 88. I know this is unbelievable, but 88% of Americans have some kind of metabolic illness or sickness. 88%. 88%. Yes, I said that. 88%. It's unbelievable. But again, going back to the food guide pyramid, it's a good start, guys and gals. Just make sure when you're reading that food guide pyramid, you start from your left to your right and then come on down and get your protein in. I mean, your good sources of protein. Now, I know there's a lot of folks that might be listening to this and saying, well, I'm a vegetarian. I don't know what to tell you. I know tofu is a good source of protein for you all. Uh, you know, um, there's other. I'm not a vegetarian, so I don't know. I just know tofu. I have a vegetarian in the family, so they tell me they eat a lot of tofu. Um, they do eat eggs. They do eat eggs, so they're not complete. I guess you could say vegetarian. They do eat eggs. They don't drink regular milk, homogenized, milk. They drink the oat milk or the almond milk, which personally I wouldn't touch that stuff. I did research on that, and that stuff is just slush. I mean, it's just junk. But to each his own. Um, thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to do this every Friday at the same time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on this Fins Talk Sports Network Extra channel, Aging and Strong. See you next week. God bless. Get strong.